There goes the cuckoo clock. I just heard the same tick-tock.
Welcome to a new edition of the Neon Jazz interview series with Chicago-based singer and songwriter, the great Joanie Pallatto, on the new 2023 album, Accidental Melody. This is her fourth album with all original music on Southport Records. There are 13 original tunes composed by Pallatto and lyrics to 5 tracks co-written by her husband, Bradley Parker-Sparrow. We talk at length about this album, live shows, Chicago, coming out of the COVID period, and the future ahead, along with a lot more. Enjoy this interview.
Hi, Joe.
How are you today?
I'm really feeling good. Thanks so much for asking. And thanks for having me on your show on Neon Jazz.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to catching back up with you about Accidental Melody. But before we do that, you know, we all survived quite a thing with COVID, especially musicians. And I'm curious, now that we're coming out, you have a new album, live shows are happening. How are you doing? How did you get out of it?
Well, I have to say that part of the recovery for me was writing music. On my new CD, Accidental Melody, there are actually 3 songs that I wrote for the pandemic in a way. There's a song I wrote right at the beginning when things were just shutting down in 2020 called Apart. And it's really about not being able to touch each other, not being able to hold each other, not being even able to see each other. And then I wrote a song called You Think You Know, which happened right when everybody thought that we could get back together, and COVID was kind of ebbing and flowing, coming and going. And basically the message there is, you think you know what's going on, but do we know? Can we hold each other again? Are we blind to what we ignore? And then finally, the third song I wrote was when everything kind of opened up, and it's called The Lost Year. And that song is about family and friends are here, and the history that won't shed a tear will always remember the lost year.
There was that, I think that's the thing that was emblematic of that time, that, you know, we're all coming out of it. I think there's PTSD to a certain degree, or there's a level of us trying to get reacquainted with the world that we once knew. And there was so much during that time that was probably a lightning rod for artists.
Yes. And I wasn't really performing during that time anyway. But I sort of snuck my recording in for this record, seemed to work out just at the right time in between things. And there were periods where we were wearing masks in the studio and, not shaking hands and things like that, not embracing. But, for the most part, we were able to connect because we were together in the studio. And that makes such a big difference, in all aspects of relations with people that we know and love. And certainly for music, that you're together in the same space connecting.
So does this album to you feel like, is it triumphant now that things are opening up and we're moving into a new phase? How does this overall release feel for you?
Well, really, any release, any recording that I do feels triumphant to me, just in the fact that I accomplished it, and it's a living thing. It's a real product that I can call part of my legacy, of my recordings, my discography. And I like the fact that I still am producing physical CDs. I think it's kind of like a book. For me, I like to hold the CD in my hand and read the liner notes and look at the pictures and learn about the music from the credits on the record. So I'm really happy about that I was able to do that.
So what are you hoping the listener gets from this album?
Wow, that's a big question. I hope the listener would enjoy the music. I hope that they would feel a joy and a connection with the lyrics. Excuse me. The lyrics on this record are really important to me. I feel like I made some personal strides in composing lyrics that connect with the music. I think the arrangements are different for this recording. Farid Haq, of course, you're familiar with Farid, the great guitarist. He's such a inspiration and a great companion of my music. He really gets it. And when we record, he always has great perspective and suggestions as far as, oh, let's change this key here, or let's keep this groove going for a while. Things that maybe I hadn't thought of. So it's always good to be open to new ideas, of course. And yeah, I just hope that the audience can listen and enjoy the music that I've created with these great musicians.
So what is the plan now that you got a new album, we're entering the warm months? What's kind of your itinerary, live music? What's that looking like?
Oh, well, I actually have a CD release party that we're going to do at the legendary Green Mill Jazz Club in Chicago, which has sort of been a home away from home for me for the past few records. I love performing there. It's such a intimate without being a small club, but the audience listens. And that's important to all of us, to have an audience available to you that is going to sit there and listen to the music and not talk during the show. So this is going to be the Joanie Pallatto Accidental Melody CD release party. It'll be held Sunday, June 11th, at the Green Mill from 4 to 6 p.m. And I'm featuring, I'm singing with Farid. We'll be doing several duets. We're doing 2 sets. My husband, Sparrow, who is a wonderful pianist and composer in his own right, he'll be accompanying me on a few songs. And in particular, we have a really, really special guest that's close to my heart. Her name is Claire Johnson, Clarenda Gaudio Johnson, and she is a sign language singer. And the distinction there for her is that she really lives her mission, her passion is to bring the arts to the deaf community of all ages. And Claire believes that sign language adds a visual dimension to a song's lyrics. She sort of paints pictures in the air. It's a beautiful thing. We've been working together for, well, really since 1982, or maybe even before then, and we haven't performed together in a long time. So I'm very happy that this will be a feature, something unique that we're going to bring to the performance.
So have you been doing live shows lately?
Not so much. I'm part of a group called a group that does new music at the Green Mill, New Music Chicago, and pianist and composer George Flynn, who's really a true American composer of modern classical music. He does a show there a couple times a year, and he often invites us to perform there, for Sparrow and I to perform our original music there. So I've been doing that, and I'm just excited about what the future is going to hold. I hope to be promoting more live shows, and I'll keep that on the back burner.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious how you're feeling of live crowds now prior to the pandemic. Are you getting a sense that there's more energy, better things going on now?
I think that the audience is relieved for the most part that they're able to join and come out and experience live music, live theater, live shows. I know that there are always going to be part of the audience and people that have specific health problems that may prevent them from feeling comfortable. And I can understand that. And, you know, I think that it's okay. Whatever you feel is comfortable for you. If you feel comfortable coming out, if you want to stay with virtual shows, if you want to shout out loud, whatever you need to do, it's all up to you.
So what is the kind of the story behind the title of the album, Accidental Melody?
You know, you might remember my last CD. In fact, you had me on your show on Neon Jazz for My Original Plan.
Yeah.
Back a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And I thought about this album and all the songs I had written, and I usually like to use a song title for the album title. It just kind of works well. And I thought, gee, you know, there's nothing that's really going to top the title, My Original Plan. It was such a great title. But I think Accidental Melody is sort of it's a fun title. It exemplifies that all the music, it raises a question. Well, how did you write these songs? Were they all accidental? Well, no, of course not. But somehow, when I was writing that particular song, I have always been inspired by Eddie Palmieri and his great salsa music. And I said, well, I've never really written a salsa tune in that groove. And I started writing the rhythmic part, and then the melody and the lyrics just sort of followed suit. Accidental Melody.
Excellent. Joanie, if anyone out there wants to pick up the album, attend the live release at the Green Mill in June, or anything at all, previous CDs, anything pertaining to your world, where's the best place for them to go?
Well, I'd say two places. Our website for Southport Records is chicagosound.com. We have a catalog there. You can type into the catalog any artist that you're interested in, and we have over 150 records on Southport now, which is pretty amazing to me. When I look back at our life, that's our legacy for Sparrow and I, to have so many great artists, Chicago jazz artists, on our catalog. They're all on our website on Chicago Sound, and also everything is available on Amazon.com. When you click on any artist on our website, it'll take you directly to Amazon. So that works for us.
Excellent. Joanie, it's so great to catch up with you again. Wonderful album. Best of luck with the CD release and everything as we move forward.
Oh, thank you so much for the opportunity to present my music and talk with you. And it's great. Thanks, Joe.
Thanks for listening and tuning in to another Neon Jazz interview, where we give you a bit of insight into the finest singers and songwriters in Chicago, Kansas City, and spots all over the world, giving fans all that jazz. Thanks to Joanie for returning to the show and for all of her stories. If you want to hear more Neon Jazz interviews, you can find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to us at YouTube, and for everything Neon Jazz, go to the neonjazz.blogspot.com. Until next time, enjoy the jazz, my friends.
A memory to unlock, to reminisce and find my youth again.
Neon Jazz.